Okay, welcome everyone to Dominion 2017. This is what the new client looks like. Before we start anything, I want to say thank you to Shuffle IT. They asked me in 2016 to be a playtester for this new client, and I readily agreed. I get to play Empires before 2017, but more importantly, I get to contribute in some small way to making the online implementation a little bit better. Right? I didn't do anything significant. I just played a few games and said, okay, I saw this. But I am extremely grateful to the opportunity that they gave to me, so I want to publicly say thank you to them. So that now that that is sorted out, we'll move on to the league action. This is Dominion League action, season 19, the first with Empires in it. I'm in the B division here. This is my first match, as you can tell from the title, of course. And the board is actually quite interesting. Wall is there. Wall is an issue. Wall is oftentimes very annoying. Once you go past 15 cards, every other card you put into your deck is worth -1 victory point. So in general, you want to be slim as much as you can be when wall is present. So there's a couple things you can do, or well, a couple ideas passed through my mind looking at it. The first was money, right? So maybe something with Swindler, Giant, Counterfeit, and money, right? The counterfeit will get rid of treasures from your deck, which is good for wall. The only other card which does that is Miser, and that works on coppers only. Remodel just converts one thing into another thing, so it won't help with the wall. So that was the first idea. The second idea was that an engine is possible. There's a bustling village below the half pile of settlers there, with 3 actions on it, which is very nice. So there's draw and smithy, there's plus buy and counterfeit, there's things to do with your duplicate, giant, and swindler remodeler as well. So you could build the engine, but it means having to go through 5 settlers to get to the villages. 1, that takes time. 2, there's swindler flying around, so it could hit your settlers and turn it into estates. Very, very bad. There's no nice way to get rid of estates. I mean, you could remodel them, right? But you don't want to have your settlers get hit by swindler. So I am not going to try the engine plan. I think it's quite ambitious, and I believe money will just be a lot better here. So I open swindler alongside my opponent, and he goes for a bonfire here, getting rid of a couple coppers, obviously taking the wall into consideration there. So I didn't want to do that first up. I wanted to pick up another swindler or a silver instead, because I want to get to 5. I want to get my counterfeit or my giant potentially. I believe giant is going to be quite good here. Well, not quite good, but it's going to be like, decently good when it comes around to the $5 hand that probably equals province, a duchy at the very least, right? But I am going to go for the bonfire as well here. Just mirroring my opponent, taking into consideration the wall. I do want my silver as soon as possible, and I wanted it here. But he buys another bonfire, and that gets me thinking again here, right? Maybe I should just buy a bonfire. He hasn't played a swindler yet, so if I buy a bonfire now, there's a lot of, or the density of estates in my deck is a lot higher. And I could still probably get to my silver, given that I haven't played my swindler yet. It's in the next 4 cards. So I am going to get the bonfire here just to try to up my green density in the deck. The little green shields that defend you against Swindler, they don't show up here. One of my coppers gets nicked, and I have a curse, which is stuck in my deck in the sense that I can't use bonfire to get rid of it, and Miser doesn't get rid of it either. However, I am able to return the favor to my opponent here, so 1-1 on those curses, and could go for another bonfire here, but that is extremely bad to do so, because then I would have just the swindler in my deck as economy, so have to pick up the silver there, and just going to try to put money in my deck, preferably silvers and golds. Like, I have no problem with silvers here, because as you see, if swindler hits silver, I mean, I don't mind getting a second swindler, and I don't mind getting this silver back, right? 2, 4, 5, they're all dangerous price points with Swindler around, but the 3 is often not a problem in Swindler games for some reason. So I'm also happy to put silvers in my deck. Nice little soft Swindler defense. So my opponent picked up a gold a couple turns ago, or a turn ago, which is quite good for them. I wasn't able to get to gold as fast as them. I am able to get to gold here, and I'm gonna pick it up. I thought about giant, thought about it, but I decided against it. I think the gold will be better. Swindler proof, at the very least. Swindler proof if he hits my giant, and it has to last 2 turns, right? I have to play it and play it again to get the big benefit out of it. So my opponent hits another copper of mine, and I was keeping an eye out to try to look for an opportunity to bonfire one more time if I could get both coppers in hand. Obviously now that is not possible because two of my 3 remaining coppers have been converted into curses, so probably not going to buy another bonfire, probably. Anyways, I have enough for a province here, and I'm going to take it straight away, no doubt. With this kind of game, you want to green when you have the opportunity. Swindler can curtail the game abruptly, so you want to try to stay ahead on the points as much as possible. So he's just here he converted my Swindler into a silver, which is usually a bad thing, but here I didn't really mind it because my deck is really at this point Swindler proof. Silvers turn into silvers, gold turns into gold, estates back into estates, provinces into province. There's one copper in my deck, and the curses turn into curses. So really, and the same could be said for his deck, right? There's not a lot of targets in his deck as well. I've hit him twice with the Swindler on his copper, so 2 curses, one of which he just remodeled. So I am not going to replace that Swindler because I think our decks are fairly resilient to it at this point. The worst it does is like skip money off the top like here, and instead I pick up a Smithy, so now my deck converts into something like Smithy Big Money, and I have $5 here. My opponent picked up a gold last turn, so very soon they'll be coming along with the provinces. I have 2 already, so quite happy with that advantage. I just need to get a couple more and then duchies, and we should be okay. So here 5 is an interesting price point. Giant, you see me considering here, but I don't think it has the time. I have to play it once and then a second time for it to be really significant. I think the counterfeit is actually better than the giant because I get to use it provided I draw it with treasure, of course, right away. And also it helps with the wall, takes cards out of my deck, and that is good for me for the wall points, right? So for here I thought about remodel actually. Maybe another Smithy is good as well, and there's of course silver. So here I am going to put the remodel into my deck now because my opponent is coming along with the provinces as well. I believe they have 2 at this point alongside my 2, and they convert a gold into a province here. So right now they are ahead on points with the province split. So I do play my Smithy and I draw into my remodel, which isn't ideal, but I do find enough money to pick up a province of my own here. So there's 2 left if I remember correctly. Or if I could see correctly anyway. There's 2 left. I'm not going to use the extra buy, of course. And my opponent picks up another remodel. So things are quite scary right now. They don't look good for me at all. He has 2 remodels in his deck. What he can do is just churn the provinces. He is allowed the luxury of turning province into province because he is a little bit ahead on the points right now. And he has 2 of them in deck, and he still has a gold lurking, so I have to just try to hold on as much as I could here. So 3, it could be a silver, estate really doesn't do anything because once you hit the wall, and I think I'm at 15 cards at least, there's no addition in points to your deck. What I'm going to do is bonfire now, get rid of the copper, and that actually gives me a point as opposed to buying the estate, which is, you know, a little bit uncommon, but that's how wall works. So my opponent doesn't have a great turn here, and that's what happens when you start to liquidate stuff from your deck, right? If you turn your gold into province, you start to take money out, you're not going to have great turns all the time. Same could be said for me here, right? I fall one short of a province, which I would have had to take at that point. Unfortunate, but I'm going to take the duchy, and here my opponent actually turns another gold into a province. And like I said, the only upside to this is that he has a lot less money in his deck now. And hopefully I can hold on and wait until my remodel pairs with my gold. I'm not going to buy anything there, just negative points at this point. I think my opponent's deck is smaller than mine. I have no idea how that happened, because I don't think he's past the wall mark yet, whereas I am past the wall mark. Going to use the remodel here, convert Smithy into Duchy, and liquidate some of my assets here. The silver gets trashed and, well, basically converted into a Duchy. Refusing the Duchess, of course. Don't want the Duchess for negative points. Do not want you in the deck. Even though it's money and I'm running low on money, but we'll see. We'll see. I have the remodel, I have the gold. That is my opportunity to get out of this mess. This deck that is becoming increasingly bad because we're trying to avoid wall trouble. And my opponent's remodel comes out here and he converts a copper into an estate. So yeah, here he gets the point from the estate, right? Which means he's not past the wall point, whereas I am. So he's thinner than me. And yeah, I pass and then he passes, and I spend an age here for, I don't know why, but I have the win in hand, and the remodel did find itself with the gold. I just have to turn that into a province and I win the game. So that's game one for you. Very interesting how wall influenced our play styles here, and liquidating all that stuff at the end is always scary, because you need to do it so that you get to the finish line and you don't use up all your fuel before the finish line. So yeah, nice little transition from Swindler big money to Smithy big money, and then just remodel at the end here, closing out the game. So thanks for watching. Please leave comments. This is like brand new to everybody, right? So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your ideas down below. Alright, I will see you in the next game, game 2.